Happy Monday. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. What we're going to carry on with this week is our fraction unit. And you can see from today, we're going to be converting this type of fraction into a different type of fraction. Now, this fraction is known as an improper fraction because the numerator is larger inside than the denominator. Sometimes you may hear this called a top-heavy fraction. And we're going to be converting that into a mixed number, which is a combination of a whole number and a fraction. Now, converting improper to mixed numbers or mixed numbers to improper just comes very much down to being confident with our factors, our multiples, and the division we were doing last week. Because this fraction line effectively means we're going to be doing 25 divided by 4, because this fraction line means division. Now, in doing so, I can then take the same approach as last week. So I can now go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and 28. So I'm applying that list of multiples of that divisor, of my denominator in this case, should you like. Okay. And then I look at my list of multiples, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I stop at 6 because I know 25 sits in between 24 and 28. So that means my whole number here is going to be 6. Now, the fraction part of my mixed number, the denominator stays the same, so it's going to remain as 4. The numerator becomes whatever the remainder is. So that difference between 24 and 25, which we know is 1. So the answer is, for 25 quarters as a mixed number, is 6 1/4 because of this approach. Let's look at how it works on 34 sevenths. We know that is the same as doing 34 divided by 7. So my divisor, my denominator, I'm going to list my 7's multiples. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. And I can stop at 35 because that is bigger than my 34. And I know my 34 sits in here. So my whole number is 1, 2, 3, 4. Because 4 7's go into 34 without going over. And then I look at my difference between 28 and 34. That's going to be my remainder. And in this case, that is a 6. But this time, because I've gone with my numerator first, I just need to remember that my denominator is going to be the same in this question as 6 sevenths. So far so good, hopefully, and you're happy with that. What I'm going to ask you to do in a minute now with these questions, if you feel confident enough, pause this video, have a go at converting those two into mixed number, then play the video and see how you get on. If not, you can just follow on and see a couple more examples. So 42 fifths we know is the same as 42 divided by 5. So I need to list my 5 times table. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and then 45. And obviously I stop at 45 because it is greater than my 42. We know 42 would sit in between here. So my whole number of my mixed number is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We know that the fraction part, the denominator, is going to stay the same as in the original 42 fifths, so 5. My numerator is the difference between the 40 and the 42, the remainder we have got, which is obviously 2. So 42 fifths is 8 2 fifths. And if we have a look at one more example with 52 ninths, we know that's 52 divided by 9. So I list my 9 times table, so 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, and 54. Stopping at 54 because we know 52 sits in here. So my whole number is how many before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know the denominator remains as 9 and the numerator is that remainder. So that difference between 45 and 52, we know that difference is 7. So 5 and 7 ninths is the mixed number form of 52 ninths. So if you pause the video and had a go at those, hopefully you've got those two right. If you haven't, hopefully those 4 examples are making you feel confident. Because once you've seen this video and you're feeling happy, you can go on to either A's or B's, but in both you're converting the improper fractions into the mixed numbers. And when you've done that, you have your think and your solve and your explain as always. So your think, which is larger, 3 3/4 or 17/4, and why? You need to make sure those fractions are the same. So you either can have both as improper fractions or both as mixed. I'll leave it up to you, but then you need to compare. In your solve, you have to spot the mistake. So you need to figure out in each of these what mistake has been made, but then obviously the important part is to correct them. Okay, so what should each of these improper fractions be, as well as identifying the mistakes? So two-step job on each of those there. And here Amir says 28 thirds is less than 37 fifths because 28 is less than 37. Do you agree with him? Explain why. Now you may agree with him, you may not agree with him, but you need to prove it. And the way to prove it is I would show both of those in mixed number form, because then you have that whole number element to use and potentially argue within your answer. Okay, we'll obviously look at this at 10 o'clock if you have any questions then, or obviously any after. Make sure you get in touch with Mrs. Williams or I. Okay, see you very soon.